All lives matter.
What are you talking about, man? All lives matter. How dare you say that?
Man, you gotta tell them why all lives matter indeed. No, that should be obvious. All lives do matter. You gotta explain this to people.
This video is about Black Lives Matter.
I have some questions, guys. Some questions.
I'm going to be disappointing a lot of people that look like me. I'm going to be disappointing a lot of people that look like you.
I know you're curious about my opinion. I don't like them.
You would never see me walking down the road with a damn Black Lives Matter sign.
It's not enough to identify a problem for me to align with you.
If you do, I got a gun to my head.
I think it's foolish. They throw the phrase out and it's like you should inevitably support it. You're black.
I do not like automatically being co-opted into being on the side of a movement based on something I can't control.
It's frustrating when you have a perspective like ours and you're pushed into the narrative of all black people feel this way.
They say Black Lives Matter, police brutality, you gotta support it. No, I don't.
I'll point out the fact that these things happen to white people too. When I point that out, I'm often met with anger.
So then I ask, Black Lives Matter to who? Who are you trying to convince?
I came here to tell you that nobody really cares about a black person being shot, killed, injured, or whatever unless a white person does it.
Black lives only matter when a white person takes a life.
Black lives only seem to matter when there is a white killer attached to it.
Black Lives Matter only cares when a white cop kills a black man, which isn't that common in the bigger scheme of things.
See, you would think that Black Lives Matter would say that all lives matter. Our lives too.
Every life is precious. Can we go with that?
But because they demand to be seen as black, you don't even just see yourself as people, as among all life that matters.
But look here, this whole Black Lives Matter, why I can't get down with this organization?
Their primary grievance and the one that made them popular is based on a lie.
Your whole narrative that police officers are hunting down black men on a daily, like it's a purge, that was built on a lie.
Black lives started with the hands up, don't shoot.
Remember this? Hands up. Don't shoot. Yeah, Mr. Brown, the guy that got Ferguson riots. Ferguson riots.
Cops shot black man in the back. Unarmed teenagers murdered by a police officer.
That was a lie. That was witnesses. That's why that cop didn't go down for that, because there was white and black witnesses that came out and said, no, this dude was out of control. That was a fight for us, like he had to kill him.
The real chief source of your danger as a black person comes from other black people.
A majority of black people killed in this country are killed by their own race.
That's a fact.
I'm more likely to get killed by somebody of my own fucking skin color than I am with the fucking police.
Black folks, 13% of the population, 48% of all the murder victims, 52% of all murderers in the U.S.
Ain't no white man out there in a hood killing us. It's us. Black Lives Matter. Bullshit.
Chicago had its most deadliest day in, 60 years or something like that? It has nothing to do with white people.
It's fucking black people
being shitty to black people
over this most stupidest shit.
Folks, the problem with Trayvon Martin and the problem with Michael Brown is the same problem. Don't hit a grown man who's carrying a gun, cop or no cop.
You grab a man's gun? What do you think's gonna happen? You attack a police officer, jumps in his car, and start punching him in the face? You deserve to get shot, man.
So we got a serious problem among ourselves.
If y'all really cared about black lives, y'all would show up whenever somebody's shot and killed in these urban neighborhoods.
How many black lives have been saved by Black Lives Matter? Since May 25th, we know about at least 24 that were killed during riots.
Max Brewer, Italia Marie Kelly, David Dorn, Dave Patrick, Chris Beatty.
Peaceful protests.
Now, race is not an issue here. I'm not bringing up race to make, to cause conflict. I'm talking about it because of the fact this is Black Lives Matter, right? And if Black Lives Matter, you guys would be marching for every single one of those deaths I just mentioned right there.
What about them? What about their family? You don't care about them, huh? It's all about the narrative.
Because it doesn't fit the media narrative. And it doesn't fit the agenda.
It doesn't fit the narrative of the evil white cop killing the black man.
Black man victim, white man bad.
It's black on black crime. You guys don't want to talk about that.
It's all that matters. Facts don't really matter.
Well, you're basically saying a black life isn't important unless it's been taken by a white person. This means that the white person is so important that now he is taking his importance and grafting it onto the black person that he just killed. And now it's important to you because that white person is involved.
They do not care about black lives. It's just branding. It's just there for branding purposes only. Just like Apple. Apple makes computers and phones. They don't sell apples. They don't care about apple orchards. They don't care about apple pies. It's just a brand.
Oh, this is my favorite part. Y'all ready? If you still fuck with Black Lives Matter after I show you what they really think about you, you deserve everything you get. We build a space that affirms black women. Hey, Where's the black man at? We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family, meaning that they don't want the man in the home with the children unless he's a transsexual woman or he's gay. And then they talk about to extend families as villages that collectively care for one another, especially our children, to the degree that mothers, parents, and children are comfortable. By the way, there's no fathers. Did you see this? We already have a problem of men not being in a home. And these fucking bitches right here are trying to make sure that it's that way. How could you even utter the goddamn words Black Lives Matter? But see, here's the deal. They're hiding it in plain sight because they know you niggas don't read.
Not only that, the leaders came out recently saying that they're Marxists.
That's communism.
Myself and Alicia in particular, we are trained Marxists.
That wasn't a secret. I've long known that. People think that it's just like, you're just saying it, right? Everybody's a communist. It's like McCarthyism.
A lot of you all don't understand how fucked up communism is.
Now, we look at Nazism, and we see that as an objectively bad thing, as we should. But you look at Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, spots of pockets of Africa, all over the world. This ideology has a body count that far surpasses Nazism. Marxism is a deadly ideology. It should be shunned. It should be shamed. And I absolutely will continue to do so.
So when y'all go out there and talk about some Black Lives Matter, this is what you're dying for. This is what you're fighting for. Dumbasses.
Since this wicked Marxist organization reared its ugly head again, you've seen nothing but devastation in the black community. You've seen more black businesses go under, black businesses destroyed, black lives lost, black on black crime is up while they're trying to defund the police departments. What is that going to do?
We already have evidence of what it does. When you look at the Ferguson effect, they wanted to pull back some of the police, and they did pull back some of the police, and you had a homicide rate that went up.
And we don't ever want people to look at themselves and look inwardly and find out what the problem is, because then you can't be a victim. Then you have to do something about it. Then it's your fault.
I grew up banging. I did it. I don't excuse that.
I did have a very criminal upbringing.
Hanging out on the street corners.
Stealing and robbing.
Selling drugs. Carrying guns.
And justifying it because I was black, saying like, oh, well, you know what? They owe me.
And I got arrested for most of that stuff.
There are people that are terrorizing their own communities and stuff like that. They're bad people. Let's call them what they are.
It felt normal to do that.
I was a bad person when I did it.
I really did a 360 on my life because I was following the wrong fucking crowd.
There's a cultural problem that they act like they don't want to address.
Am I not supposed to talk about it?
It pains them to address it. And the reason why is because they get to rid themselves of any sort of responsibility for their own situations.
If you don't want white people talking about you like this, then why are you acting like this?
And let me tell you, I've been in so many situations, when I hang out with black people, where white people would be looking at us, or the police would come up and, talk to us or question us or whatever. And automatically their mind would be like, oh, it's because they're racist. That's why they're doing that. And I'm like,
why you say
why is that the first thing that comes to your mind?
Yeah.
Like, why is racism, him being a possible racist, why is that the first thing that comes to your mind?
Some of you try to act like cops aren't people.
I came across terrible cops.
As if when they put on their badge and their uniform, they're turning into monsters or some shit.
And I've came across good ones.
There's just plenty of cops that are just normal people like you and I trying to do their job and make it home.
A lot of the good officers were white officers, white male officers.
And then all of a sudden you got fucking innocent cops getting killed and you think it's a good thing? That's stupid as fuck.
And when it comes to times where I need help, I would want an officer, a good one that would protect me, would make me feel like, okay, I could call on you for help.
I'm not afraid of the police.
I'm not scared of the cops.
When I'm out in the streets, walking, and I see a police,
I don't have any fear.
No fear.
I don't have nothing to fear because I'm not doing anything.
Police have a fucking job to do.
I've had plenty of run-ins with the cops.
When I comply, I don't have problems.
And when the cops cussed me up, they never disrespected me, never raised their voice at me. They just told me, I gotta take you in. And I said, okay. Got bailed out the same day. Life is good.
But you know what happens when I don't comply? I get fucked up. I end up getting locked up. You see more than one car pulled behind you.
I've heard very few cases where it was pure and uncut, undeniable racism in the last 10 years.
And which one of these police in the past 10 years, of all these cases that you can think of, Michael Brown, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile, all these black folks who've been shot by police officers, in which one of those cases was the police officer actually shown to have been racist? Just name one.
You're delusional and you're setting yourself up for failure.
A white person kills a black person does not mean that the white person is racist. Flat out.
You're setting yourself up to walk around for the rest of your life, mad for nothing, and seeing racism in everything where there's no racism.
I don't walk around with this chip in my shoulder and I'm not like paranoid all the time that every person is racist.
Racism is a bias against a race, putting people down for the color of their fucking skin. And that's what these Black Lives Matter people are doing to white people.
And I'm not saying I haven't experienced racism. Of course I've experienced racism.
When I was in Cincinnati, I would see the Klan and they would start talking their Klan talk. We gonna take back our country down, and I tell you what, man, why? And I would just ride by and go, look at these idiots, and keep it moving. I didn't commit all day to that. And when you as a black person are upset for nothing, walking around mad thinking all of these white people hate you because you're black, what you're doing really is giving that narrative power over you.
We give so much power to white people. When we say to the white liberals, the white people, hey, this is your system that you messed up, you have to change it to make our lives better.
Oh, you want black people to do better?
Nobody gonna make your life better except you.
It's really all about entitlement. They have this mindset that things must be given to them.
People that have not done anything with their lives, refuse to examine their lives, blaming everybody else for their problems.
You know, if we as a black community took care of our neighborhoods and kept the value up by keeping out street crime and all kinds of things that would just cause people to not want to live there.
They don't talk about what's going on culturally. They don't talk about how people are acting within their own communities.
If we kept the appreciation up, then we would be the face of gentrification.
Imagine how much more we could achieve.
You want to protest? Protest those horrible schools your kids are going to, turn out gang members instead of scholars. You want to protest? Protest those black politicians in your community that have been in charge for decades and turn out nothing but more poverty for you. If you want to protest, protest your radio station today that broadcasts this rap music degrading women, degrading family, and glorifying drinking and drugs.
You know, it's somebody else's fault. It's systemic racism. That's why you're in the position you're in. It's not your choices.
Everything is not racist. You don't go around slapping the label racism on everything unless you're a Democratic politician or the liberal media that has an agenda.
Let's not make this about no Democrats or no Republicans, okay?
You don't need the Democrats. You don't need Republicans.
When I was banging, doing things that had me on the path to being dead or in jail, never once was I accused being whitewashed, Uncle Tom. I never was accused of that. It wasn't until I dropped from what I was as a leftist. That's when they said that. So what does that say?
So I go to my mentions on my Twitter feed, and a lot of it is white folks being racist against me because I don't think the same way they do.
Because if not, you're called names. You're called coon. You're called traitor. You're called all these things, usually by the black community.
Oh, you're one of the good ones. You're a good boy. Dance for them. I get that every day. I get more racism from white liberals than I do from anybody else.
I don't need to prove how black I am by being part of a cult.
I could go beat up, kill other black people, terrorize, steal from other black people, and they feel like that's what it is to be black. That in itself shows you that there's a cultural problem.
My point is, I don't like the Black Lives Matter movement because it says, hey, Blackie, you're not responsible for anything you do.
It makes us look weak.
You're like a little special needs kid.
The whole point of this organization is keep black people pissed off, so they can keep you enslaved mentally like you need them.
This whole Black Lives Matter thing is a scam to get people to feel sorry for us.
They're gonna give you your reparations. They're gonna make your life better.
You poor little retard.
I'm not begging no white folk to accept me. That's for losers, man. That's actually admitting that they're superior to you.
You act like white folks are superior to you. You're acting like you believe in white superiority.
When you want to keep screeching white supremacy, white man better than me, all this and the third, you always look at yourself as subservient and lower.
It's going to keep you in a circle of discontent.
And look, white people, you hold up these Black Lives Matter signs, you need to wake up.
They don't understand that they're making black people weak and inferior.
And when I ask the question, well, does your life matter? And they go, well, yeah, but right now we need to concentrate on your life because your life is secondary to mine.
You're just throwing gas to the flames.
I have a huge issue with white guilt, man.
I'm personally insulted by any movement that says, hey, Blackie, you can't do any better.
You know what white guilt to me is? Low expectation racism. That's all it is.
You're from this, you're from that. You know you were a slave, right?
But look at how they talk about voter IDs when they talk about the black community. Look at white liberals when they talk about voter IDs in black community. They talk about like it's impossible for blacks to have IDs.
I don't want that. I don't want someone to make me feel like she's black. Let's treat her extra different now.
You know how racist that sounds?
And I find that too many of us are so emotional.
Woe is me.
Trying to look for handouts and pity.
I can't do nothing.
And it's embarrassing.
I don't want black people doing this. Black people should have more respect for themselves.
Every time I see this crime picture, this black 16-year-old, 17-year-old that's just murdered someone, life over, life ruined, and I see that look of desolation in their eyes, and I realize that they took on that message of, I'm from slaves. I'm black. I can't ever have anything. You don't have to absorb that message. You don't have to listen to that. That is not who you are. You can be anything you want to be. If you disavow these movements that tell you you ain't shit.
It was hard to kind of go the other way and not get involved in that, but I made a conscious choice to do that.
I'm living the American dream. I'm living the American dream that people said black people can't have.
Yeah. And I'm not rich and I'm not rolling in dough, but I'm pretty content. I'm happy. I'm independent.
I'm doing better than even a lot of my white counterparts.
Why did the Black Lives Matter movement ignore successful black people? They get grumpy when successful black people come up and say,
I am a young, black, rich. If that don't let you know that America understands black matter these days, I don't know what it is. Don't come at me with that dumb man.
But the fact of the matter is, if there was this big, bad boogeyman holding black people down, then it would hold all black people down.
That's it. That's right. It's a system in place holding me back. And if you say, well, how come it don't hold me back? Oh, they start foaming at the mouth then.
And it's so crazy because I'm just like, wait a minute, we had a black president for 8 years.
8 years. They're claiming that there's still some kind of system in place by the government. But no one can answer this question. What is the name of the system? What is the law in place?
I mean, we don't believe that white privilege is a real thing. We believe that there's such thing as class issues.
Yeah. There was a system in place called the Jim Crow laws. That system affected every black person. The 1964 Civil Rights Act did away with that system. There's no system in place.
I have this apartment that I work for with my own money from a job that I got from an education that I decided to get myself. Nobody's coming in to tell me I can't do that because I'm black.
As if there's people that's out to get us. There's some shadow group of white people out there that their whole purpose is to step on the black man's back.
People are not thinking things through.
They're creating racism where there is no racism.
Because there's so much anger and hatred going on now.
That's why I think a white supremacist would love Black Lives Matter as a movement, because
it's a politically motivated, culturally driven poison.
Because of BLM, we have more division.
Your actions reflect on me and my family and every other African American out there who's trying to live a normal life.
I fought in the civil rights movement in the 60s. I demonstrated, I protested for civil rights. Civil rights, the right to compete against everyone in America.
My wife is Caucasian and Native. Her life matters to me. My daughter is white and Native. Her life matters to me. And I dare any one of you guys to go out there and beg them to get on their knees and apologize for something they ain't done because of white privileges. You're gonna have to deal with me.
Me and white men will stand together shoulder to shoulder to protest and demonstrate you and push you back. You're not gonna win this.
I worked my whole life to have a good name. For y'all hooligans to go out there and act like Negroes. Ignorant. Y'all don't even know what that word means.
Anybody who offended by what I'm saying, I really don't give a shit.
I don't care about your downvotes. I don't care about your comments.
I don't care about how much hate I get. Everybody has opinions.
And I do not care if my own people start calling me a
coon, Uncle Tom, bootlicker, shoe shiner,
and a porch monkey in the house nigga.
I don't give a shit.
I won't betray my people. I won't sell out for my people. It's just some stuff that my people do I'm not with.
And I encourage more black people to speak out because it'll let people know that, no, we're not all the same. We're not a hive mind, dude. We're individuals and we can come to our own conclusions.
I'm a man, I'm an individual, I'm an American.
I don't say African American when I thought about myself. I'm an American.
I'm a proud American.
You don't want to be an American, but you get mad because you're not treated like an American. Actually, no, you want to be treated special as a black person in America. Oh, you're just a racist. You don't care about black folks. The most important thing to you is being black. Look what it's done for you.
If you want to create a society where people don't pay attention to color and don't treat you differently because of your skin color, then you have to stop making arguments to help specific groups because of their skin color.
And this is where the part where I know I'm going to lose a lot of people.
I do not believe in lowering standards for people. If the law says 3 strikes and you're out, then you're out. If you want to try and challenge those laws in and of themselves, okay, but not because a disproportionate amount of people from a certain race are being arrested.
I don't get caught up in disparities and stuff like that because I'm not stupid.
The same law must apply equally. It is a process that must be just, not the outcome that must be equal.
And I recognize that human beings are human beings, and there's not going to be any given human affair in which there doesn't exist some sort of disparity somewhere.
And not everybody is the same. Lowering standards is admitting that you don't expect any better and fostering complacency.
I want somebody to come to my photography page because they like my pictures and they want to use my services. I don't want them just to come to my photography page just because I'm black.
Oh, we're so oppressed because of our skin color. No, you're obsessed with your skin color.
Color, color, color.
That's mad fucking racist.
It's always about color with these people.
You know how fucking racist that is?
We all live on the same daggone rock.
Everyone agrees, no matter if you're Democrat, Republican, you're socialist, or you're capitalist, you're religious, non-religious, everyone believes that what happened to George Floyd is bad.
People do care about Black lives.
No one disagrees with that.
Everybody knows Black Lives Matter.
And Black lives do matter to people.
Who's saying Black lives don't matter?
That is why it got national attention.
I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Get along. You know, really, for real. Let's all get along.
Peace, love, harmony.
Let's respect each other.
And let's just, you know, work towards a better fucking future, right?
Let's get it done, man.
And hopefully shit will get better.
Black lives do matter.
Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye. Mwah.